Hello, everybody. There'll definitely be some of that in the movie I'll be reviewing this evening. Now, I am a William Castle fan, and originally what I wanted to do was review the film The Tingler. Everyone knows about that one, right? It's the 1959 one where they put buzzers under your seat and fucking shock your asshole. This is what you used to go to the theater for. This is something different, apparently. I ended up watching this right afterwards and totally scrapped that plan. I was like, that's done with. I just watched 13 Ghosts. This is the 1960 version. This film, I feel, is like half serious and maybe half not so serious. I can't believe that some of this stuff, they were really like, that would be scary. Let's begin. So this film, it's about 13 ghosts. The reason that they are all together in a gang of 13, a baker's dozen, it's never really explained. They throw a lot of info at you that's supposed to sound like an explanation, but when you break it down and parse it out, it really is nothing's explained. We just have all of these ghosts. Oh, by the way, there's only 12. I want to make that clear. For like 99% of this movie, there are only 12 ghosts. The 13th one, like, pops on right at the end. Let's start at the beginning, though. The opening title sequence for this film is interesting. Apparently, Castle has ditched United Artists at this point. He's like, nah, I'm done with you guys. I'm going to Columbia! So what we're greeted with is someone shooting cum onto the camera. I mean, that's what it is. It's a bunch of... Maybe it's blood, maybe it is, but it's black and white, and it's a very light-colored liquid. And someone's just blowing it onto the lens. They're like, boom, 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 boom. And what's even better is that someone's hand, you can't totally tell it's a hand, but someone's fingers start wiping it around on, like, glass or something. They're wiping it, they're like, ooh, yeah, kind of just grind that into your... Real Catholic stuff. Whoa, this is scary, guys. It's ectoplasmic, if nothing else. But who's in the movie? Who are all the ghosts? We don't know them. They all have personalities and stories, and they all look different, too. And we need to know, like, what they look like, just for no reason, really. You want to see all the ghosts? Let's introduce the whole cast before the play begins. And they start throwing them at you. Now all the jizz has been wiped away. We start getting ghosts, and... the way they do it is kind of cool. It's like an image that comes flying at you in a zoom, sort of, and it'll go through, like, the actual range of focus. So it'll go, out of focus. Boom, you'll see it for a second, and then it'll go blurry again. When it's like a painting of a ghoul face or something, it's kind of fun, right? It kind of, wow! Oh, and they're all numbered, too. So you're like, there's number 3, and there's number 4, 5 ghosts, blah! They're not all the same. Some ghosts are, like, spitting fire things, and other ghosts look like people. One of them is a skeleton that's on fire. He screams. They have sounds that accompany them, too. They all make different kinds of sounds. But at this point, there's a whole just bunch of screaming and chains being shaked around and all that crap. Castle stuff, so you can't really exactly tell what's going on. Oh, and that moaning from whoever was coming earlier. So anyway, we go through all the ghosts, and then we get to number 13! And there's a big question mark. Like, we don't know who the fuck number 13 is. Do you? Well, you better watch the film! And then we dive into the title card, 13 Ghosts. By William Castle. I can't say this film stars anybody particularly famous. Oh, except for the woman who played the evil witch in The Wizard of Oz. Stars her. She plays a secondary role, kind of. Her name's Elaine. But she's not, like, a part of the family or anything. This is a family movie, right? I mean, you watch the opening sequence, you know this is going to be all about the family unit. In fact... you'll notice as I go through all of this that it bears a lot of similarities to Poltergeist, sort of like a precursor. Now, we start off with Cyrus Zorba. This guy is way more normal and vanilla than his name might lead you to believe, and he works at the museum. He leads people around. He's the paleontologist or something, and he's describing tar pits. He's like, these are huge pits, they're full of tar. You're probably wondering how birds got in them. And he's wondering why he doesn't make a lot of money. He's like, my salary is half that of a garbage collector. I don't know why that would be. All I do is guide people around the museum all day. And when I'm not doing that, I'm in my study poking bones and things. Again, his job is ill-defined, but who the fuck cares, really? He's just in the middle of giving a lecture. And over here, we're going to talk about how the humans survived the Paleocene, or the Pleistocene, or the Permian era. There's all sorts of epics. And as he's going through and everyone's falling asleep, this guy comes out. I can't remember if this is his boss or not. That maybe it might just be the janitor, but someone's like, "You have a call on the phone, Dr. Zorba? Are you sure it's for this Dr. Zorba?" I mean, anyone would know I'm in the middle of my lecture right now. In the archaeology exhibit. Yes, well, it's your wife, and I told her that you were giving your lecture, but she could have stuck her finger through the phone, she would have wagged it at me, so you better get in there and talk to her. And he's like, okay, well, can you take over the lecture, janitor? Fuck, you don't need a degree to do what I do. Just go fucking talk about dinosaurs. Talk about what you see around you. That's what I'm doing. So he runs in and he talks to his wife. She's pissed, by the way. She's at home. And everything they own is being taken out of the house. Like, there's people in there taking their possessions away. Here's the thing. This would cause me to be in total dismay. She has this weird sigh in her voice, like this happened last Monday. This is like leftover drama from last week, when we almost had our shit taken out, and now they're taking it again. And because he didn't pay for his furniture. I guess they're renting all their furniture, except for some things, but most of it they're renting, and the people that own it can come take it at any time. And they've been giving him 3 months' notice, and he hasn't been paying. He seems to have forgotten. I mean, that's how he acts. Oh, I wasn't paying the furniture bills? Like he has so many bills to pay. He hasn't been paying. What is this dude? Oh, by the way, he hints later on, and he only hints at it. We get no concrete evidence or specifics, but we get the sense that this guy commits crimes too. Like he does weird financial things, like embezzling and insider trading. I don't know what. He just hints to the fact later. He's like, I hope that this call we got from Ben Rush, we'll talk about who he is, I hope that he's not a lawyer or something, because I've committed crimes recently. Well, not too recently, honey. You committing your crimes. Look at me, I'm a regular Becky Manafort. But she's not feeling cool about it. She's like, yeah, the FBI's here, and they're taking all the shit, and they didn't even knock before they broke in. So it's all gone to shit. Oh, and by the way, your son's birthday is this evening, so that just makes it better. She finds it within herself to be like, did you buy him a present? You've already ruined his night, but did you bring him a present? Did you spend money on that? Yeah, of course. I bought him... what did he buy him? I don't know. We never see his gift. His sister, Medea, she got Buck, Cyrus's son, Ghost Stories. It's a book full of ghost stories, and that's what the title says. It's a ghost story book. Like, I bought this book the other day called Adventure Stories, and I was like, wow, these stories are full of adventure. He's reading it at the dinner table, which is so rude. I mean, it's the version of a cell phone back then, right? Parents were like, God damn it, stop reading. That makes you just someone who's not respectful at the dinner table. And he has his elbows on the floor, because remember, they're not eating at a table. They're like, eat your cake, stop reading. And, oh, well, cake, I suppose. And he leans forward, he's going to make a wish. I mean, he's like, I don't want to say my wish. It's a personal wish. It's like a prayer. And it's a special intention. I don't need to tell you. And Medea's like, well, if you're not going to tell us, then you're obviously wishing for kitty porn. You're doing something bad. Like, fucking, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to support your wish if you won't tell me what it is. And then he tells everyone, and all the wish is that he wants furniture that no one can take away. He wants to live in a house that's stable. And his parents are looking totally fucking, oh, that's a wonderful wish, isn't it? And you know why? And you're wondering, why didn't he want to tell everyone he was wishing for that? Because he thought he'd make his fucking dad feel bad. Like, I know you're such a terrible fucking father. Being like 8 years old, I already figured that out. And I don't want to make you feel bad about your financial situation, pal. Well, thank you. You're always thinking about me. Look at the fine young man you're growing up to be. You may not have money, but you got character. Wind comes whipping into the room, and they're like, my God, Billy, he's a witch! Like, don't let him make a wish! Some question to me as to how this has any connection to anything else that happens in the film, because there is supernatural goings-on. I mean, being William Castle, there's also an Earthbound like murder mystery, but there are ghosts flying around and doing weird shit. This, though, I think is something else. This is more like voodoo. So they're about to continue eating cake, and then we get a knock at the door. Or maybe it's a buzz, I don't know. But Cyrus is like, I'll go get it! And he goes over, and he's just thinking about how he's going to have to explain opening the door and having a totally fucking empty house behind him. And he opens the door, doesn't see anybody. And then, I'm going to warn you, this is the scariest part of the whole film. This dude pops in, who is fucking creepy looking. And the sad thing is there's no makeup on him. He's just a sad looking person. He pops in, he's like, Arr! And Cyrus is such a dumbass. I need to make it clear that everyone in this family is retarded. And he is definitely retarded, man. He is like the Phil Dunphy of this family. Oh, dear, are you the one who knocked, Igor? Yes, and I have a parcel for you, and here you go. You know, Dr. Zorba turns around, he's like, oh shit, I don't have any money. How am I gonna tip him? Or so he doesn't take money, he takes human souls or fingers or something. But I guess nothing whatsoever tonight because he turns around and he's gone. He doesn't accept tips. And so he opens up the note, and this note is not from anywhere supernatural. I mean, the source of this note is someone we meet. It's Benjamin Rush. Not spelled like Benjamin. Instead of the I, there's an E in there. And at first, I thought maybe that was a misspelling. But they use it everywhere. It's on all the title cards, and it's in the IMDb. It's everywhere. So, okay, his name's Benjamin Rush. And this guy is a turd, man. He looks like a total douche. He's a lawyer. And right about here is when they start, like, discussing who this guy might be before Cyrus goes and meets him. Because, Cyrus commits crimes. Hilda, his wife, she's sitting there like, like, oh, you committing crimes. Our family situation is not good, so why don't you go find out how much worse it's gotten? And he goes to meet Mr. Rush, and he says, listen, your uncle, Dr. Zorba, whose name is your name too, he has died recently. And this is someone that Cyrus has heard of, I suppose, because he says, oh, didn't he die in India like 13 years ago? No, he died right here in LA like 3 days ago. I guess I stayed not really in touch with the guy because apparently he was into the occult, spiritualism, mysticism, mesmerism. He was into all the isms, all of the weird ones. Over time they kind of compile what exactly this dude's job was because it's a little fuzzy right here, but we get the sense that he wanted to photograph ghosts. That was his life's work. Dude, by the way, he was totally fucking respected for this. They say this. He's a world-renowned doctor. He is fucking respected by his colleagues, which are people that you don't even know about because they're that smart. They work for the Illuminati, bitch. You only know about his existence, really, because you're related to him, and you didn't even know he was in the U.S. But I am Benjamin Rush, his personal attorney. Well, I was. He had me on retainer, and then he died, and he is passing on something of his to you. It is a house. I'm afraid to say it's a gigantic old mansion that comes with all the furniture. And what is the first thing Hilda says? Our son must be psychic. Like, what the fuck does he know? He's like, what are you talking about? Your son must be psychic. Cyrus, the dumbass he is. Well, Buck last night made a wish, a birthday wish, like boys do, that we would get a house where we could keep all the furniture, and then you came along, so our son must be magic. Or what? Why are they telling this to this guy? Like, shut the fuck up. Just ignore it. Say your wife's crazy, or, honey, go fix yourself a Tom Collins at the bar. Make me something too. Me and the boys, we gotta rub dicks. So, let's talk clams. How many am I gonna be getting? No clams, pal, just the house. And the ghosts. This is where we get a logical disconnect. So we've been talking about how Dr. Zorba's work that took him around the world somehow, and that he was very respected for, was trying to photograph ghosts. We don't really know if he ever got around to doing that, but we do know he invented goggles for looking at them. Which logically means, therefore, that while he was going around promoting his goggles, he collected spirits. He collected 13 of them in 80 days. He was in a fucking hot air balloon going around the world. He'd be like, look, there be a spook! How he did this is never explained. And why he did it is not explained. I'm sorry, he takes pictures of ghosts is no reason for him going around the world collecting them. Why? They never explain that. We get more and more information about his job, but none of it justifies what he did. None of it actually backs up his actions. Like, yeah, he spent the last couple years of his life traveling the world, seeing the sights, tasting new foods, and collecting ghosts. No reservations. And then he got home, and the ghosts destroyed him, by the way. Whatever he was trying to do with them, they destroyed him over a period of time. They, liquidated him. And then eventually he died. And now the ghosts are stuck in the house or something. And they're probably not happy about that, because a couple of them are, from Tibet and Italy and places like that. Now they're stuck in L.A. They're feeling kind of pissed about it. And Ben is not going to sugarcoat it. The house comes with the ghosts! They aren't going to be removed! You can't just put a tent over the house and fucking fumigate them out. They're discorporate. Except for the ectoplasm we saw at the beginning of the movie, and there'll be plenty of that. And they're like, oh dear, we don't know if we want a house with spirits. Well, before you focus too much on the ghosts and all, there's a package that comes too. So you get the house and the package. I don't know if there's ghosts in the package. There might be. And he turns and leaves. They open up the package and they find that it's the goggles that let you see ghosts. They also make you look incredibly stupid when you put them on. I mean, these things are not sleek by any means. You put them on and every time Cyrus does it, he looks like a retard. I don't know what these are. They're kind of looking at him and then suddenly a fly lands on it. It fries the fly or something. And again, they still put this on their faces. They just saw it. It burned a fucking fly. I don't see a fly zapper and then grab it and be like, ah! But that's what they do. Because they're moving into this house. The house itself is kind of cool. It's like the Munsters house. And it's got, palm trees in the front yard. It's all overgrown. It's, Carpenter Gothic. It's a cool house. Apparently it's in L.A. somewhere. But they've moved in, and Ben wants to come see them. So he comes up to the front. He's got the edible arrangement. He's like, here you go. It's cantaloupe and honeydew. Buck, how you doing, kiddo? This guy's relationship with Buck is improper. That's the only way to describe it. It's a creepy fucking relationship. I would not let my kid alone with this guy. Bucko, sport, how's it going? You guys enjoying the house? You liking your bedroom and all that? And the kid goes, yeah, there's ghosts. There's even a witch. And the door opens or something, and it's his sister. And I thought he was going to say, she's the fucking witch or something. But it turns out they're talking about Elaine. She came with the house. They opened up the broom closet when they came in, and there she was. And they activated her, and she was like, listen, I come with the house. I'm like the ghosts. How many things come with the house? Apparently the furniture, the ghosts, Elaine, a lot of different things. Yeah, no, I'm one of those other fucking things that comes with the house. I'll clean it, I'll cook, I'll take care of you guys, whatever, just as long as you allow me to live here. And they're cool with that. They're like, well, Elaine, welcome to our family. We're dumbasses, and we do a lot of stupid shit. We might be involved in criminal activity. Who knows? I think you'll like our clan. And she's cool with that, or, she's the chick who played fucking Miss Goach or whatever. She's mean and evil looking, and she does look like a witch. And it must be an allusion to the Wizard of Oz. They kind of talk about her as if she's not in the room, even though she's in the room, sort of thing. They'll be like, my God, you're right. She really does look like a witch. Medea's like, oh, don't call her that. She might cut your tongue off or something if she really is one. Oh, thanks, guys. She goes upstairs, fuck you. So Ben's looking around. He's, checking things out and what have you. And Medea's like, I'll go see what my dad's up to. We'll see if we can get him in here. In the meantime, can I just, hit on you? And he's, looking around. He's like, my God. The spirits are moving tonight. They like you. At least I hope they do, because if they don't, they'll kill you! Would you like to come over for dinner right now? I'm hot and bothered by all your spook talk. And he's like, well, I don't want to impose. And Cyrus is like, no, because we've got plenty of fucking food to share with everybody. So they have a dinner, and then they find a Ouija board. I don't recall exactly how this pops up, but they just find this or something. Buck runs in with it. Look, I found a Ouija board! And by the way, they explain what Ouija means. And I don't understand it still. Look at it, okay? O-U-I, oui, which is yes in French. And then J-A, ja, which is yes in German. Yes, yes, Ouija board. Cyrus acts so fucking smart. And no one else in the room is any smarter than he is, so I guess no one's there to tell him that he's a fucking dipshit. Yeah, guys, see, that's right. Yes, yes, board. It's how you contact the spooks and the spirits inspectors. How about we all do it? Where's the little piece you move around? It has a name, I forget, like Plumb Bob. He's like, where's the whatever? And they set it down. It's like, everybody put your fingers on, bring it in! They stick it on there, and they're like, okay. Now, don't ask it a stupid question or one that, is nice or fun, because then it won't answer. You have to ask it a dark, evil question. And if the answer is scary, don't be offended, please. And so they're like, is this house haunted? Are there ghosts in it? And then it moves to, yes! Yo! Wee! Yes, yes, bored! Mom is upset by this. She's like, well, I don't like this at all. She pulls her finger away like she had it in dog shit. She's like, yeah, well, this is all evil and terrible. And Ben's like, I agree, I don't like it either. This is a child's toy. But, the kids, the children, Medea and Buck, they're still interested. They want to play more. They're like, how many ghosts are there? 1 ghost and 3 ghosts. Which... 13! Again, by the way, there's only 12, but there's 13. Figure out which one the 13th is, guys! The ghost is prepping them for the mystery. But then they gotta ask another question, a creepier one. They're like, are they gonna hurt us? And the Ouija board is like, yeah. Are they gonna kill us? And then the little Ouija piece starts floating up, and it's at Medea. And she's like, oh my god, that was malevolent. And everyone's upset by that. But Cyrus, the dumbass that he is, there must be a logical explanation. Listen, I'm a paleontologist that gives tours at the Natural History Museum. It was obviously swamp gas. Did you smell anything weird like chlorine? Now, the point is that I don't think it's any big deal. Ben went home. Before you go to bed, dear, just calm down, pop a pill. I'm going to go see what's up with our kids. So he goes into his son's bedroom. He's been reading ghost stories. He might be on his favorite ghost story at this point, but he fell asleep. And his dad is, going to tuck him in and turn the light off, and then he decides not to. He's like, if this is how he fell asleep, this is probably how he expects to wake up. And if I turn off the light and put him under the sheets and all that, he might freak out. We wouldn't want that. So he leaves the room, and then he goes and checks on his daughter. The only reason I mention this is just because it's so weird. He goes into his daughter's bedroom, into Medea's bedroom, and she's standing there, all the lights off, in the middle of the room, just staring forward at the door. She's just like she was waiting for him. How you doing this evening, sweetie? You're not scared, are you? No, I'm not scared. I'm scary, though. He's like, yes, you are quite frightening, whatever it is you're doing. Get into bed, dear, and have a good evening. I'm going to go and have sex with your mother. God damn it, Dad, you're creepy! And he turns and leaves. And he goes back to the bedroom to see his wife, and he's like, honey, I've checked on the children, they're alive. I'm going to go downstairs and get a book to read. Okay, so here's what happens. This happens sometimes. In between sections of the film, like acts almost, it would be like, this is, Act 2, Act 3. In between here, we'll get little vignettes, like we'll see a room in the house, the kitchen, or the living room, or maybe the bidet. We'll see ghosts, they'll appear, and they're just kind of see-through images of people, or maybe like an axe flying around, or a spinny fire wheel, and you'll see it flying around, remember, they're coming! And we'll just throw these in to divide up our time, to show temporal or spatial, discontinuity, or to juxtapose things, as if it's That 70s Show or something. Hey, I'm ghost number 6! And then it goes away, and we cut to the next thing. Cyrus has gone downstairs and he hears moaning. He's hearing weeping late in the evening. It's coming from somewhere, and it leads him to a secret room. Now, this room, you like open a door and then another door slides in there, and then you get in, and there's like a bunch of file cabinets and different things. They never explain what this room is. They never explain it. This is just, I don't know, it's just some room in the house or something. But it's secret! You can't know about it! And it's got all sorts of files and things. And he puts the glasses on, like the little weird, you can see ghost glasses, and he starts seeing spirits! And they are exactly what I thought they'd be. Like, it's a skeleton. Goddamn, fucking William Castle and his medical skeletons. He's got some fucking skeleton that he ordered from a hospital or something, and it's floating, and oh, but you can see through it because it's a ghost skeleton. There's a couple of other, like, props that have been made, like a spooky corpse and, like, a spooky witch or something. They're being, like, dangled around on wires. He watches this for a little while, looking absolutely horrified at everything he's seeing. He's like, ah! It's a dance to the dead! In front of him. There's fire! And they all burst into flames, and they scream louder! Ah! And he's screaming too, and he's all spooked, and everyone's spooked, and whatever. And then suddenly a weird spinning fire apparition comes at him and starts poking at him. And he's like, no, no, no! He can't get out of the room, the door's shut. He's like, I can't figure out how to open the door! Ah! Then he takes the glasses off, and it stops. By the way, if you want the ghost to stop hurting you, just take the glasses off. Ride's over. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I need some paper towels right about now. I don't know whether to feel gross or proud of myself. And, you know, because he discovered the spooks or something. And after this, people will put on the glasses and they'll see ghosts all the time. I don't know if he tells anyone about his little experience down in the basement necessarily, but he goes to work the next day, and then he gets a call from his fucking wife again, and he's like, God damn it, I can't fucking do work without my wife calling all the time. YOLO, you got me on the horn, bitch, what's going on? And she's like, get down here right now. You get over here! And you see the look in his face. He's like, God, she fucking found the hustlers. And so he goes home, and he's getting ready to explain his wax stack. He's like, honey, listen, I am a man, and you satisfy me, but oh, what's going on in here? We see why she's mad. It's the kitchen. Like, the ghosts have been throwing shit around in the kitchen. They dumped sugar everywhere. They fucking threw the brawny on the floor. They've been dumping juice. And she just looks pissed. No amount of Lysol and Swiffer dancing is going to fix this. God damn it. You can fucking hurt my kids and torment my husband, but when you fuck up my kitchen, then that's when shit gets serious. And you can tell, too, because suddenly, like, a bottle of milk floats up and starts pouring itself on the ground. And you would think that someone just stuck a 12-inch blade in her abdomen. She's like, ah! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Ugh! What's a homemaker to do when I'm fighting the phantasmic? I'm fighting otherworldly forces. My womanly wills won't help me now. And this is all bullshit. She doesn't want to live here now. She can't keep a clean house. I mean, this is one of those times where we get kind of a Poltergeist vibe, because this is something that happened in Poltergeist, except she wasn't mad. She was more excited or whatever. At this point, Hilda becomes convinced that everyone's going to die. She's like, we need to leave now! And he goes, no, not yet. I think we should, know what we're running from before we start running. We have to talk to Elaine. There she is at the top of the stairs. What is it? What do you need to know? He's like, everything, Elaine, everything! Follow me upstairs. I have to show you somewhere in the house you've already been. You live here. What is she showing him? She's like, come upstairs. You see, Dr. Zorba, not you though, the other Dr. Zorba, he and I don't know, we worked together. I don't know. She was involved with him somehow. Not romantically involved. The fact is that towards the end, he was totally estranged from me because I told him that what he was doing was dangerous and not smart. And what you think she's talking about is the ghost thing, which we still don't totally understand. We're like, yes, please tell us, how is what he's doing not smart? Or so I don't know what he's doing, so I don't know how he's not doing it well. She's like, it's the money. Yeah, no, fuck the ghost thing or whatever. If he wants to wither away into a mummy and die because he can't let go of his spooks, so be it! But he was doing weird things with his money, and I don't like that. He liquidated all of it, turned it into cash, and then withdrew it all, and now no one knows where it is. And she totally admits to trying to find it. She's like, yeah, right after he died, I went around with Ben, Mr. Rush, and we searched everywhere, couldn't find it. And there's a continuity problem here, and the thing is I don't know if it's one that's supposed to be in the movie. Earlier on in the film, Ben said of Elaine, well, I don't think she likes me very much. He just met her, right? He doesn't think so. Well, she just said that she and Ben knew each other for a while. So suddenly there's some weird disconnect here. That doesn't follow. And I don't think that it's a part of the mystery. I think they just they just assume you don't care that much. You're like, no, you won't be following it that bad, right? She's like, yeah, I think Ben's probably up to no good if you haven't figured that out. I'm just some ugly old witch woman who lives at the house and takes care of it. And this is Dr. Zorba's bedroom. This is where he was found dead. He was suffocated. We don't know if the ghost did it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is no mystery. Apparently, this canopy bed has a weird mechanism on it that allows it to crush people. And it does it real slow, too, in case you need time to jump out. But it's also quiet. So he was murdered! Oh, and she ends off on this note, too. This isn't smart of her, if you ask me. She's like, I never came into the room in the morning. Never, ever. Except for that morning, particularly, I decided to come in. Was it because I was murdering him? I don't know. Mighty coincidence. Just something about that morning. She turns and leaves. Because that's Elaine, She's like, I'm unpredictable. Sometimes I like to spice it up. Bye-bye. And then, like, a candle comes floating off the abra. He's like, ah! And it goes floating over to the curtains. And at first, I thought that these spooks, which are obviously not nice, and are trying to hurt them, right? Right? But it goes down, and instead of lighting the curtain on fire, it points out the button, the mechanism that causes the bed to murder. He's like, well, that would seem to indicate that he was murdered. Elaine left pretty quick. Where did she go? Is she still in the hall? But I don't know. He forgets about that or something. We cut from that. We go to a little vignette of ghosts in the kitchen, and one of them is a chef from Italy who murdered his wife, and he comes in, he's a ghost, and he hits one of the other ghosts with a cleaver, and we're like, doop, boop, ba-doop. So that evening, Medea is in her bedroom. She's standing there, staring out into space again, waiting maybe for her dad to walk in through the door, or whoever. She just wants to be prepared. She's like, She's tapping her toe. And then suddenly, someone shows up, but from behind her. She's like, ah! She looks around, and I don't know, it's like some dead person or something. But notice they're not a ghost. They're not a ghost. This is something else. It's like a dead person. Ah, zombie. Oh my God! She turns and runs. She's screaming, and Lane comes in. She looks around. She's like, well, dearie, there's no one in here. It doesn't make Medea feel better. She goes to her room. She's all afluster. She can't be bothered. The next morning, she has to have breakfast brought to her in bed for no reason whatsoever. She's like, oh, God, I have nerves. And I don't know. I had my period when it happened or something. I don't know. Who cares? She's just telling people. She doesn't feel good. So she has to stay in bed. Now, the next morning, Buck goes downstairs. He slides down the banister. Now, we need to do this a couple of times before we figure it out, but I'll just let you know right now that when your ass hits, a certain part of the banister, a secret compartment opens and money flies out. But only, a little bit, so, some money flies out. And he finds it. He's like, wow, 200 buckaroos! And sticks it in there. And then he goes down to the basement. Oh, he takes the glasses because his dad just left out the murder glasses or the spook glasses or whatever. He puts them on, and he's in the basement, and he sees a ghost lion. Ah! It'd be scarier if it were a real lion. But it's a ghost lion, and it's running around. It's growling at him. And this goes on for 20 fucking minutes, by the way. I don't know what this is. It's just like a lion that you can kind of see through, superimposed, walking around an empty room with a kid oh my God. Because remember, the glasses make anyone who wears them look retarded. So, this is crazy. It's beyond belief. And then suddenly, a spook appears. Well, besides the lion one. And this one is like a lion tamer, except he's missing his head. You would think he would be whipping the lion, but instead he's trying to stick his head, like, into its mouth or something, but he doesn't have a head. So the lion's, like, biting at the costume or whatever, the false dummy head. It's like, ah! The kid doesn't even look afraid. He's just like, wow, this is unexpected, or what a show, or... He goes upstairs afterwards, totally unfazed by it. He's like, Mom, I just saw someone downstairs fighting with a lion. He didn't have a head. And his mother, who has seen things fly across the room and blow up in her face and all that crap, still doesn't take him seriously. She's like, whatever, dear, that's nice. Now go take this food up to Medea. She's an invalid. And so he brings it upstairs. Again, she's in bed, like she's just given birth or something. Oh, thank you. What do you got? Oh, good. Hash, sausage, bacon, eggs, coffee, and lots of salt. And keep it coming! And then the kid goes back downstairs, and he meets Ben. Ben's just in the foyer. He's hanging around in the house. He's like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And, oh, look at that. There's money on the floor. He's like, where'd that come from? And he's talking to the kid. He's like making a pact with him. He's like, don't tell anybody about what we're talking about, but I'm going to come back later and get the money, or we're going to try and find the money together, but don't tell your parents. It's creepy. Like, I'm surprised he didn't start lifting the kid's shirt off at some point. He's like, don't tell anybody I was here. And the kid says something like, what if someone asks me outright, straight, were you here? And he goes, I wasn't here, Buck. And that's how it's going to have to be. Now drop your pants! Don't tell anyone or I'll kill you! He leaves. We get it now. Ben's bad. Ben wants them out of the house so he can find the money. And we go to Cyrus's office. His boss is translating a book in Latin which tells us more about Dr. Zorba. Again, nothing that explains why he collected these 13 ghosts. It's just more about how someone in his life, towards the end of his life, was stealing money from him. And Elaine just got done telling Cyrus that the only people he ever hung out with was her and Ben. And I don't think Elaine was stealing money. I'm sorry, like, she just doesn't seem like that type. Ben, definitely. But he doesn't make the connection. Ben comes in while they're talking, and he's like, hey guys, how's it going? And Cyrus's boss, who's doing the translating, looks at Ben like he's a cat that can sense evil in people. He's like, don't trust him. Just keep reading with me. You see, it says yada yada. It basically says Ben's the one who did it, or who killed Dr. Zorba. He didn't die naturally. Someone murdered him. We get that. It was probably Ben, right? Ben's like, listen, guys, I think I can get you guys out of the house and into a better domicile. If you leave right now, tonight, and don't ask any questions, and just get in your car and drive away. And leave the keys with me. Well, my kids are getting hurt, and I think the only witch in the house right now is my wife. So, yeah, sure, I mean, we're willing to get out of here as soon as possible. Who suggests this to him? I think, like, his boss suggests having a seance or something. Like, they should have a seance to contact the spooks before they leave. I don't even remember why they do that. They're like, no, we need to talk to Dr. Zorba. Again, the other Dr. Zorba, not you. We're going to talk to your counterpart in the spirit world, in the astro plane, and learn about this and learn about that. Like, to learn more about what we read in the stupid journal, as if anyone gives a shit. If someone was committing crimes against him, he's dead. They succeeded or whatever, and you didn't know the dude. So, but no, he's like, I think we need to hold a seance and excite the spirits that have been terrorizing us. Get them all worked up into a fit. And then talk to Dr. Zorba and see if maybe he has anything interesting to say. Oh, and we're going to have to spend the evening with Elaine, which I never thought I'd be saying that. So we go home, and we're in the bedroom right now. After being scared, Medea no longer likes staying at the house. She's no longer into making mischief and shit. She's been scared straight, as it were. She's like, no, I just want to pack my things, my bras, my brassieres, my... Buck's like, I want to go to the seance. I wonder what's going to happen at the seance. What do you think of seances? What's the etymology of the word? And she's like, God damn it, Buck, just leave me alone. I'm just so upset that I'm not going to get to date Ben or whatever. She's had a boner for Ben the whole time. A ghost boner. But she's got to go down to the seance right now, and she's not really too happy about that either. She's like, yeah, you know, I could be out at the movies right now or drinking a soda pop or something at a fountain, but No, I'm at home contacting the spirits, like my parents always wanted for me. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hey, Elaine. Hey, spirits. Let's get this thing started. And they all, sit down, whatever. I think Cyrus has to get up to go to the bathroom before they start because Elaine tells him he can't do it during the procedure. She's like, everyone must sit still, even though no one ever does. In every movie. So she's like, everyone just sit really still for the beginning of it. Like, for form's sake. Let's not do this all willy-nilly, because it's dangerous! Especially for the medium, me. But you should know that if Dr. Zorba comes back, he may not choose to speak through me. He may choose to speak through someone else in the room. Maybe you, Hilda! She's freaked out. She's like, oh heavens, not me! And who do you think he's going to choose to talk through? The person with his name, probably. She's like, okay, it's time for two-way thumb war. She's contacting the spirit. She's like, Astroplane, Leviathan, open up your five-toothed mouth, you beast of Babylon. She's letting in the spirits. Her hair is flying around. Or, that would be really cool if that's what she were doing. But no, instead she's just going, Dr. Zorba, Dr. Zorba. Look! It's Cyrus! He's being possessed! He gets up, and he's kind of, I don't know, if he's being possessed, I don't see why he has to put the glasses on, but he does. He's like, oh! So he's walking around. Again, he wasn't supposed to get up and do that, but I guess Elaine's giving him some leeway. She's like, he's possessed. Don't even try fighting him. He has, like, super strength right now. But everyone else better stay at the table, and everyone else gets up and walks over to see what he's doing. Well, fine. If no one else is going to stay at the table with me, I'll just get up and leave. Obviously, no one's getting killed here. So she walks over, and they're all staring at what's going on. And I need to emphasize that only Cyrus can see any of what I'm about to tell you, okay? And what I'm about to tell you is not even that amazing. What he sees is Dr. Zorba. He appears, like, in front of his portrait, except now he's a gross skeleton thing. He could be any other person, just in a skeleton outfit. And he comes floating down, and he enters Dr. Zorba, or they come together. Like, Cyrus is like, because he's going into him. It's like someone's giving him a handy J. He's like, whoa, whoa. And Dr. Zorba tells them in a very cryptic way that there will be death tonight, and it will be someone amongst them. Now, what they don't know is that there's someone else in the house right now. Someone's come back. Ben. Ben's back in the house. He's here to get the money. He's going to wait till everyone's asleep, I suppose, and he runs into Buck again, and he's like, Buck, have you found the cash? Have you been looking around for it? Do you know how it comes out? And he's like, yeah, when you fucking knock your ass into these two banisters here, a little compartment opens up and it farts cash at you. And he's like, wow! Oh, and by the way, it's $100 bills, I'll give it to you, but this is not an incredible amount of money that's been hidden away. It's like, I don't know, about this much money right about here. I mean, not enough to fill a suitcase. Oh, yes. What? No! He grabs the kid, and the kid's like, you're hurting me! No, don't. Shh. I'm your friend, remember? I'm your friend. Why don't you go upstairs and go to bed, and I'll just steal the money or whatever. Tomorrow morning we'll give it all to your family together or something, and you'll get ice cream. And okay. And Buck runs upstairs. He's been neutralized for the moment. Now, in the other room, the seance has come to a close. He takes the glasses off. Dr. Zorba has disappeared back into the ether, and everyone else is like, what the fuck happened? I just saw Dr. Zorba, and he said one of us is going to die tonight. They all decide, well, we better leave tomorrow morning. They all get ready for bed. They're like, okay, I guess it's over. Because Elaine says, she's like, no, we can't do it again. There's too much interference. The spirits are pissed. Go to bed. So they're like, yeah, we can't leave this late at night. I mean, it's just going to be a big damn deal, and I'm definitely going to fall asleep driving. You know me. So why don't we just, have a cat nap or something? We'll do a 3-hour one. So they're all getting ready for bed, And this is when murder happens. Ben comes in, and we see him wearing from the waist down the outfit of the creature that scared Medea. So we get it. He walked in on her to freak her out or whatever. Who knows how long he was staring at her. He was probably like, what the fuck is she doing in the middle of the room? She's been there for like 2 hours and she hasn't moved at all. But the boy is the one who poses the issue to me. So he walks down the hall, again, halfway in his getup. I don't understand the purpose of that. I can go grab the top part. That's easy to put on. I can do that in 2 seconds. But this part takes a while. So Ben goes down to Buck's room, walks in, and he's looking at him like... You can tell that all these creepy little encounters where he's having him keep secrets and do things for him, this is what it was all leading up to. He's like... He looks just like a little Pillsbury Doughboy. He reaches down, picks him up, and takes him down the hall to Zorba's bedroom. Not Cyrus's bedroom, to the other bedroom, the haunted one where he died. And he, like, throws the kid down on the bed like he's a bag of rice or something. He's like, kaboom! Throws him down, and the kid's fast asleep. He's tuckered out. And then Ben goes around the side of the bed and switches the switch that causes it to start lowering. The canopy is gonna kill him! It's real Terminator. So child murder is about to happen. And apparently Dr. Zorba, in this life or the next, does not condone such activities, at least on his property. Dr. Zorba appears through the AC system. He comes in through like an air duct in the form of Cardus Frost, and then appears as, again, sort of a blurry, you can kind of see through him person who's, I don't know, wearing some bony things and some weird stuff on their face. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It kind of looks like the killer from House of Wax going forward. And Ben, like, I don't know, someone ripped his vocal cords out because he's just sitting there going, ah! But he's not making noise because that would wake Buck up. He wakes up eventually right as it's really about to get to him, and he's like, oh my god! And he turns and rolls off the bed. And, you know, Dr. Zorba thanks him for that because he's like, thanks for getting out of the way. Ben, it's your turn. And he, like, slips him under there and then holds him down as he gets crushed. And that's a cool ending. I'll give it to you. That's a cool ending. But it's not the very end, unfortunately. He's been murdered. Death has occurred. And the kid runs out, and he's like, my god, Ben's been killed! I murdered him! They all come in, and they're like, oh my god, Mr. Rush! And then we cut to the next day, and we see Hilda in the kitchen, sitting at the table, looking through money. She's like, never thought I'd get tired of this! It's great to have money, Hildy. And I really think that we have a bright future here at the home. Ain't that right, Elaine? What about the ghosts? Are they still here? And Elaine, oh, she's a witch, remember? I mean, she really is. She's a medium. She's basically a witch. She's like, no, the ghosts have all left. They've been freed through some means or something. Remember, now there's 13 of them. That's the magic number. A baker's dozen. Now get in here, everyone. I've made breakfast. And they're all like, ooh, goody. And they leave. Again, murder has occurred, and it does not faze them at all. Besides all the other crazy shit that's happened to them, and they're still stuck in this house. The only person that does not go to breakfast and partake of the merrymaking is Buck. He stays and watches the money, and she asks why. Because of you, bitch. Fair enough. Are you a witch? Are the ghosts really gone? She's like, no. They'll be back. Perhaps next fall, or maybe the fall after that, depending on when we can get the next project greenlit. Oh no, but they'll be back, and next time there'll be 26 of them! They're still being collected, for whatever reason we don't know. And the kid's like, ooh, he's happy. He's happy about that. He's like, oh, they're coming back? That sounds great! Why is that great? He's like, that sounds wonderful. I can't wait for the ghosts to be back. I guess they're really that stupid. They already forgot that the haunting terrified them. Maybe the glasses retard you when you wear them. But by the way, the glasses are no longer going to be an issue because they blow up. I need to emphasize they just blow up. Like, we look into the living room, they're on the table, and then they blow up! And I guess the ghosts don't want to be looked at anymore. They're like, no, you've been objectifying us, and that's disrespecting the dead. And now that there's 13 of us, we have a group going, and we band together and used our powers to blow up the glasses. These blow up to no notice, by the way. No one sees this. They're just gone, and they won't be missed. Again, this is a family of people with the brains of goldfish and the memory spans of such creatures. I don't feel they learn from their mistakes. We're just gonna stay at the house with the 13 ghosts. We're the only family with apparitions! Woo! And then the dude who shot the load on the camera lens at the beginning of the film, he comes and shoots another one here at the end, because I guess 90 minutes is about his turnaround time. Again, this movie, there are parts of it that are kind of scary. I mean, some of the noises are weird, things jump out at you, they're weird, creepy-looking people. But I almost feel like there has to be some sort of comedic side to this. The point is that, in the end, everyone got money, they got a house, and they got 13 murderous spooks. And that's great, you know, the Zorba family. A couple of things I want to point out concerning this film on a whole, specifically editing and the film stock and yada yada. The first thing, lighting. When you turn on one light, 6 lights can't come on. You know what I mean? When you turn on a lamp, you can't have 9 different light sources suddenly appear. If the light source is right here, the wall over there cannot light up. I'm sorry. Like, it's really bad in this film. And I know in films people will light a candle and the room will suddenly get really bright or something, but this is just shoddy. This is lazy. Like, there's spotlights aimed other directions when the light source stated is right here. There's that. And again, there's that scene where we're in the basement with the lion tamer that goes on for, like, I don't know, a half hour. It's the most boring thing I've ever seen. And it doesn't take us any further in the story. I mean, when I was in screenwriting class, what I was told was that every scene must have a purpose. If a scene doesn't contribute something to the story, or to the mood, or in any way constructive to the end result, you should not include it. It's just dead wasted time. And that's what this is. Honestly, this is just some weird antics with the ghosts. It's not even scary. And it takes up a fucking half hour of our time. It's a fun movie, I have to say. 13 Ghosts. One of William Castle's classics.